what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag. What you see is what you get. When I look in the mirror, I'm looking like a man. Like we playing tag bad, I'm the top pick. Show them what you're working with. Break the circuit, be a hit. Go ahead and make them sit. If you gotta hate it, then your purpose is equipped. Tell them catch you later, cause you serving up some grits. Meaning hot with the drip when I drop in the mix. The proof is in the pudding. Show them how you do it. They do it like they shouldn't. You don't need to brag, cause your competition couldn't. You don't need to boast, cause the proof is in the pudding. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag.
Everybody say hello in the chat. Thank you guys for coming. We got some good stuff to cover today, so I'll give it a minute. Can't believe it's already August. I know for some of you, fall might be kicking off, so hopefully you are staying sane. Hey guys, thanks for coming. All right, we'll give it like 30 more seconds. Let's see. And I always have to talk about the weather, but just saying in Georgia, which it's usually very hot, it is like untimely cold or just, I wouldn't say cold, maybe not cold, but like it's in the 60s. So it's really, really nice, but kind of strange. All right. Well, let's get started. Hey guys. My name is Stevie. For those of you who do not know, I am part of the customer success team here at PhotoDay. And today we're going to be going over getting back to basics with PhotoDay. So if you guys are just getting started and this is your first fall season using us, there's going to be a ton of helpful stuff in this webinar. And if you've already gotten started, there will probably be some tips in here that will be helpful for you guys. So yeah. All right. Now, housekeeping before I get started, feel free to chat and chime in as I go. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer, I will answer them at the end of the webinar. So just make sure to add them in the Q&A section of the chat. But you can use the regular chat for any other conversation you want to have. Just want to make sure I don't want to miss anybody's questions. And if I answer them during, then I get a little squirrely. So I love to answer questions, but all right. Yes, very rainy. Christina, if you're in Georgia, like I feel like it's like a little bit brisk. I'm kind of loving it. It's making me feel like it's Halloween already. All right, guys, let's get started. So on the agenda for today, I am going to be going over AdvancePay, how it works, and then why to use it, and then just setting up the credit sheets and offers. I'm going to be getting into price sheets, and then I'll be discussing our bulk shipping feature as well. And then we'll get into digital downloads, the different ways that you can sell them, and why they're an important part of what you're offering to your customers. And we also have kind of an exciting newer feature that I'm going to go over for the first time on a webinar, I think. And if you guys are not using it, it's awesome. So stay tuned for that part. So I'll be going over slides where I discuss what this stuff is, and then I'll also do some live demos of setting up. So going to be going over a lot. Let's get into it. All right, so starting off with AdvancePay. For those of you who do not know, AdvancePay is PhotoDay's solution to prepay. So if you're using a prepay workflow with paper forms or with another online solution, or you did in the past, then AdvancePay is going to be something you'll want to implement with your jobs when you get started with PhotoDay. There are a few different ways to use it. I'm going to go over the most popular way today. If you guys want to watch a little more of a deep dive on AdvancePay, I did a webinar a few months ago where I talk about all the different strategies you can use with AdvancePay, and somebody from the PhotoDay team will link that webinar in the chat. So I went into great detail, but I think what's important to know about AdvancePay is it sells best when you give your customers some sort of incentive that's going to encourage them to purchase and make it make sense why they should buy in advance. And you're also rewarding the customers that behave in the way you want them to. So All right, so is AdvancePay like prepay? This is the first most important thing that you want to understand with AdvancePay. It is a credit amount that your customer is going to use towards their order once pictures are ready, instead of selling actual packages or products in advance. So the good thing about this is that you're not tying your customers to, just the basic package or just one 8x10 that they bought before they saw photos. Since you're selling in an online gallery, you're able to offer multiple images per subject, which most photographers do on PhotoDay. And your images are your inventory. So the more images you offer, the more choices, the higher your chance for a larger order. So that is kind of where the mentality behind AdvancePay comes into play. They buy a credit amount in advance, and then once pictures are ready, they have the freedom to buy whatever items they want and fully customize their order the way they want once they see all those images that you've offered, and it does not limit them. It's also shown that AdvancePay increases your average order value for the jobs that it's used in. Customers may purchase the credit 2 weeks prior to picture day. And then, pictures are ready a week later. That's 3 weeks. They may have more money to spend at that point. It's kind of like money spent, money forgotten. So it is really beneficial to sell AdvancePay. And it just gets your customers committed to purchasing in general. Now, I'm going to do a live demo. So I'm going to show you guys how the setup works, but it is really broken down into two parts. So the AdvancePay credit sheet, and then the offer or incentive that is tied to AdvancePay. So first you're going to build the credit sheet, and that is that's going to determine the amount or amounts that your customer can choose from. And then you're going to set up an offer. So you build an offer in your PhotoDay account, and then you can attach it in the settings of the job to AdvancePay. And that's going to give anybody who buys the credit that benefit. It is going to send the offer automatically to them. And then actually when they check out and their credit amount applies to their order, the offer will automatically apply. But yeah, it's really important to tie some sort of incentive to AdvancePay so they understand why they should purchase in advance. Of course, you might have some customers that, choose to purchase in advance if you didn't tie an incentive to it, but you'll get maximum participation if you give a benefit for doing so. And I'll go over the different types of incentives you can offer as well. But right now I'm going to jump into a screen share. So give me 1 second. Stop my slides and then 1 second, guys. Sorry. Alrighty. Okay, so this is my demo account. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. Let me zoom in a tiny bit. All right, so let's jump into a job. Now I've already set up this job up until the AdvancePay part. If you guys need a full walkthrough on job setup, we do have webinars for that as well. But let's go into Sunnyside School. All right, so actually I'm going to use this one. Sorry. So at the setup storefront step, which is the second getting your job started step on the dashboard, I'm going to go into the AdvancePay credit settings. Alrighty, so first things first, you need to attach a credit sheet. So this is going to determine what credit amounts your customer can choose from. Now, oops, got to hit remember me if it takes you there. All right, so you can add up to 4 credit amounts to a credit sheet. Some photographers just do 1. It really just depends on your strategy, but you can only have 1 AdvancePay offer. So sometimes it makes sense to give 1 credit amount and then directly tie the offer to the credit amount you're selling. So let's go ahead and set up a credit sheet up here in the top right. I'm going to give it a name. I'll go back to basics. Bam. Okay, so you'll have 4 spots to add credits. I'm just going to do 1 for this example. I like the strategy of just offering 1 credit amount if you're giving an AdvancePay offer. That way it makes the most sense. Now I'll do one $35 credit. If you're wondering what credit amount you should offer, I would think like, in terms of what will your customer know that they're going to spend on pictures once they're ready. If that's $25, if they're used to spending $35, on average on pictures, then 35 is a great mark. But if you're giving an offer, you also want to make sure that you're comfortable with giving an offer at that amount that you're selling. So now you can also add a description to the credit. So I'll be doing a free shipping offer. So you can, put a little note in here. It's up to you. Get free shipping with the purchase of an AP credit. Now, this isn't really necessary because our system is going to explain all of this when you set it up in your settings. But I will say if you're using credit amounts or if you're using AdvancePay credits for other reasons, like maybe you're requiring it, you could add a description in here that helps your customers understand what they're purchasing the credit for. So, okay, so this is the credit sheet I'm going to be using. Now I'm going to go back to my last tab and get it attached. All right, now next is setting up an offer that you're going to attach to AdvancePay. So I'm going to click here. Now this brings me to the store tab under offers, and you can choose to set up a dollar amount or percentage off offer, or you could do a free shipping offer. I'm going to go with free shipping. I think it's most popular when it comes to AdvancePay. And I also just think it's a really appealing offer for customers when they're shopping online in general. So create a shipping offer. Now I'll just make it AdvancePay back to basics. Now, when you're giving these offers and credit sheets a name, that name doesn't show to the customer. That's just for your reference. So you can name it something that's going to help you, know what the offer is for. You can create an offer code, so you can type one in, or you can just generate it. I just generated it for this case because it does automatically apply to the order, so they don't actually have to type it in. And then minimum order dollar amount. So here is where you can add an amount that the customer has to reach on their subtotal before they can apply the offer. And that ties back to the offering one credit amount thing. So say I'm selling a $35 credit, I would set the minimum order dollar amount at $35. So if they buy $35 worth of AdvancePay credit, they can get free shipping on orders of $35 or more. So that's just going to protect you from your customer just using their credit partially and then applying the offer. And yeah, so as far as offer expiration date goes, when it comes to AdvancePay offers, which it does give you this little tip down here, once you set your job to AdvancePay, that's going to be the only time when your customers can purchase a credit and get the offer. Once you publish the job and pictures are ready, people are not going to be able to purchase a credit anymore. Therefore, nobody else can get the offer that didn't buy a credit. Now, that being said, you don't really need to set an expiration date. Your customer could redeem their AdvancePay credit and the offer, on day 1 of publish, or it could be day 32, just depending on how long you leave the gallery open. So if you want to set an expiration date, you can, but I would be careful because you're giving an offer to your customer for buying the credit. You don't want to take it away after a certain time frame. So, all right, I'm going to hit create. And then let's attach it back to the job. Well, I have a ton of offers. All right, so there it is. 2 other things here that are important. Number 1, customer data. So this is going to require your customer to enter their name when they buy the credit. This can be helpful if you want to know who each credit belongs to. Otherwise, it's only going to show the name of like the parent who purchased the credit in the order information. Now, this isn't the case with private galleries. You are kind of able to tell what private gallery the AdvancePay was purchased from, but I think it's helpful to turn on regardless. Now, preview storefront, this is going to allow your customers to see your pricing when the job is in AdvancePay mode. So if they go in and they're like, I don't know if I'd spend $35, they can see that your base package is $35. Maybe that would be, their light bulb moment where they're like, let me go ahead and purchase it. Each studio is different. Some people like this, some people don't, but you do have to add a price sheet in order to turn that on. So I'm going to do that. Let's do sports. And I'm going to show you guys what AdvancePay looks like to the customer. So let's jump into that. Now, once you set up your AdvancePay settings, say you're 2 weeks out from the shoot, you can go ahead and set your job to AdvancePay mode. That means that when you start marketing your gallery and you start pushing people towards opting in, they're going to be able to go right into the gallery and buy a credit to get ready for picture day. So make sure you set the job to AdvancePay. And I am going to grab the gallery's link. This is a public gallery, so I'm going to get the link from the settings. And let's see here. All right, so once they jump into the gallery, it's going to ask them if they want to subscribe or not. This is important. Even if AdvancePay is optional, you're directing your customers into the gallery where they're going to end up buying their photos. And I think that's really helpful just to get your customers acquainted with where they're going to go. And it'll also get them subscribed to texts if they go directly in from the link. So they can leave that box checked and that's going to opt them in. Now, it does explain. So it's going to say prepay with AdvancePay, get free shipping, or whatever the offer is that you've set in the AdvancePay settings is going to be explained here. You can purchase an AdvancePay credit now, and it will apply to your order when the pictures are ready. And then it'll show your AdvancePay credit amounts. Here is where it shows the description. I just have one, but if you had 4, it would have 4 little tiles here. And then here is the subject name, which is required from my settings. And then they just go through the checkout process. Now, oh wait, I didn't turn on Preview Storefront. Let me go do that really quick. By the way, if you need to make a change, it is going to be automatic. So I just went back into my job. I turned on Preview Storefront. And now, if I refresh, it will be in there. So right up here, Preview Storefront. And then they can see all of the packages and products that you offer. So yeah. Now, if your customers are typically asking for pricing beforehand, I think this is a really good way to showcase that without having to like print stuff out or create something separate for the league. Okay, guys, back to my presentation. Let's jump to the types of incentives. All right, so there are different offer options that you can use when you're incentivizing the purchase of AdvancePay credits. Just like I said, there are 4 credit amounts, but you can only have one offer currently with AdvancePay, so just keep that in mind. But you can do a free shipping offer, or you can do a dollar amount or percentage off. So free shipping, I would say, is the most popular. Number one, if you're just jumping into online sales and your customers aren't used to paying a separate shipping charge, offering AdvancePay and giving a free shipping offer is a great way to kind of cushion that. So, if people are like, oh, I have to pay shipping, no, you can just go and buy an AdvancePay credit and then you'll get free shipping on your order. So, and I'll also say, like, when I'm shopping online, or I know you guys know, if you see free shipping, it's like, buy $50 and get free shipping. I'll usually add something else to my cart just to get free shipping. I'm not really sure why shipping bothers people so much, but I totally get it. I'm right there with them. So I would say this is what most studios are using. And then this is just going to, you're going to be covering the lab's shipping costs. So whatever the lab charges for shipping will just be paid for by you out of the payout. Now, there are also spend-based incentives you can use. So you could do a dollar amount off, or you can do 10% off or a percentage off. The dollar amount's great. Percentage off is great, but I would say it's good to know exactly what amount you're going to be, taking out of your overall payout whenever, when you're selling AdvancePay. So sometimes the percentage off can be tricky because that could fluctuate depending on how much they spend. Okay, guys, we're going to jump into price sheets. So we're going to talk about creating price sheets and then also bulk shipping. So first things first, what are price sheets and how do they work? So price sheets are the pricing sets that you're going to create in your PhotoDay account, and you can attach it to each job. So that's going to determine what pricing your customers are going to see. You'll start off with a generic sample price sheet in your account. Our team has created it just based off of what we've seen sells as far as packages go, and pricing, what's kind of standard across the board. So if you guys are wondering kind of where to start, the sample price sheet is a great point of reference. So you can either tweak it, you can make a copy of it and make changes to the sample price sheet, or you can start from scratch and create a blank price sheet. You can use different labs on your PhotoDay account, but you cannot use 2 different labs at the same time on a job. So you're welcome to set up different price sheets with different labs that you have added to your account. You just have to use one at a time. And, you know, some people will set up multiple price sheets. Like maybe you do dance, they'll have a dance price sheet, a sports price sheet, a school price sheet. But you can also just use one for every single job you do. So whatever works for you. You guys will see in my demo account, I have like 14 million price sheets because I'm very passionate about online pricing. So now, bulk shipping. I'm going to do a live demo of all this. So I'll just explain it all first, and then I will make it all make sense in the interface. So bulk shipping is an option with Miller's Lab and private galleries only. So first things first, with all of our partner labs, they offer individual drop shipping to the customer as the delivery option. But if you have a need for bulk shipping, Miller's Lab offers it with private galleries only through PhotoDay. So if that's a requirement of an organization you work with, or again, if you're coming from like paper forms, you know, and you really need that bulk shipping option, we do have it. So the way it works is you set a deadline. So once you publish, you're going to set a deadline for maybe 2 weeks out or however long you want to give. And after that date, the order is going to process, and all of the orders that were included in the bulk shipment are going to go to one address that you set. The cool thing is, if the order is included in the bulk shipment, your customer isn't going to have to pay shipping. As long as you meet a $15 minimum lab cost of all the orders that are included in the shipment, you'll get free 2-day shipping as well from the lab. So again, if you have concerns about charging your customer shipping and you are using private galleries in Miller's Lab, then that's a good way to save that amount for all of your customers. Now, it's important to note why it's available with private galleries only. And that is because our system and the lab really needs the data from the job for sorting and organizing the orders so that everybody gets their order. And it's not a big mess, you know, if you ship it directly to the school. Now, setting up bulk shipping starts at the price sheet level. So it's going to start by creating a bulk shipping price sheet. And then you can attach it to your job and set up the settings. So I'll go over that. But you can choose either bulk shipping only, or you can do bulk and drop. So with bulk shipping only, of course, they can only include their order in the bulk shipment. All of them are going to go to that address you set. And then the job will actually go into draft mode until you get another price sheet set. But with bulk and drop, your customer has the choice. They can either include their order in the bulk shipment, or they can choose to pay shipping and get it shipped directly to them. And the cool thing about that option is that the job does not go into draft mode once the bulk shipment date has ended. So that is good. Very handy. Now, I think it's time for me to share my screen again. Yes, let's do it. And good question, Giovanni. Yes. So because we offer bulk shipping with private galleries only, because the orders are going to be sorted by individual subject. So they are going to be packaged individually by subject and by order. And then you can actually have them sorted further if you have other data in your private gallery. So say you have everybody's grade in the data, you can have the orders sorted, of course, by individual kid and then by grade. So that'll make them even easier to give out or have the school divvy up by class or grade. Okay, guys. So first things first, let's go over price sheets and then we'll get back into bulk shipping. So if you want to start from scratch, and here's where all of my plethora of price sheets live. If you guys need sample pricing that is genre specific, by the way, just hit us up in the bubble because we have tons of sample pricing. All right, so if you're going to start from scratch, up here in the top right-hand corner, you can click add a price sheet. You can give it a name. So let's do sports. And then you could choose a lab. This is going to be all the labs that you have added to your account. And then you choose a markup. So this is just a starting point. You can change every individual retail price once you get into the price sheet, but this is just a starting point. It'll put your items in at this price by default. So 500% markup or $10 markup, whatever you guys want to set. Now, if you choose Miller's, here is the part where you can choose the shipping type. But if you choose any other lab, it will just be drop shipping. Okay, so I am actually going to jump into an already made price sheet so I can show you guys what it all looks like. I'll do a sports price sheet with Miller's. All right, now jumping down to print products, and I'll come back up to these two. But first things first, a la carte items. So all the items that I have in this print products section can be bought by themselves. So these are a la carte items. Therefore, I usually recommend that you set them at kind of a full retail price. So you have your prints, you have templated prints as well, stuff like memory mates. And then there are specialty items as well. So things like magnets, buttons, etc. Now you'll notice for some of these smaller prints or smaller specialty items, you can actually set packs of multiple. So if you don't want to just sell one 4x6 by itself, you can actually up the quantity and they'll get a pack of 2 for this price. So these are the items that my customers can choose from. If I go up here into the top right-hand corner, you'll be able to see the lab's full offering. So if you're working off the sample price sheet, the items that you see here will be stuff that is, if you attached it to a job, the customers would see all these items and these prices. And so if you want to add more, you'll come up here and you can see everything the lab offers through PhotoDay. So there are prints and specialty items. Each lab kind of varies as far as what they offer, but it's all pretty standard. So yeah, but if you want to add an item, you just click on it, click add product, and we'll add a graphic magnet. Now you'll be able to see what the item costs from the lab. That is the base cost as well as the PhotoDay fee. And then you'll just set your price. All right. Now, digital products. I'm going to graze over this because I'll get back into talking about digitals in my next section. But this is where you add your digital products. But as far as packages go, you can create bundles of prints or bundles of prints and digitals for a discount. So what you'll do is you will give the package a name. You'll give it a description. We recommend putting these savings in the description. Of course, you want to encourage customers to not buy a la carte, but jump up and buy a package and spend a little more. And you give them a savings for doing so. And then you add the items that you want to be inside the package. So for instance, I could add a 4x5 here. Now, it's important to note that your customer can actually choose a different image for each line item that you see here in these packages. So there's no way to limit customers to one pose per package. But if you wanted to limit them a little bit, you could kind of go like a pack of 2 5x7s. That would make the 5x7s of one pose. But that is going to open up the door for people to purchase even bigger packages because they can add all their favorite images into each item. So very cool. Okay, so 2 other things I want to touch on here, and then we'll talk about setting up bulk shipping. Number 1, shipping rate. So if you want to see the cost of shipping, of drop shipping from the lab of your choice, you can go under here and you'll see that here. So economy shipping is $6.45 with Miller's, but they can choose a more expedited option if they want. And then there's sometimes a note, just depending on the lab, that will tell you for certain non-flat items, or if they purchase a large amount of items, then it will automatically upgrade the shipping. So keep that in mind, check that out. And then one other awesome thing we have under price sheets is photo add-ons. So if your customers are used to purchasing retouching on their images, you can offer retouching through PhotoDay. Now it is a retouching technology that's automatically run on your images. You as the photographer don't have to do anything. You don't have to go back in and do any extra editing. And you make a little bit of extra money for selling it. So it is bought per photo. So you set that price here. You can toggle it on or off. And then it has a unit cost, but other than that, you're going to make a little bit of extra money. So it's pretty awesome. Now, this is a drop shipping price sheet. So if you click this little gear icon, you'll see that it is drop shipping. But say you wanted to set up bulk shipping, you can actually copy a price sheet and change it to a different shipping type, which is really helpful. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I will do that. I just copied this one and then I'm going to go in here and I'll choose bulk and drop. Okay, so if you want to offer bulk shipping, you'll go into your private gallery. I'm going to go in here. And then first things first, you're going to want to make sure that you have your bulk shipping price sheet attached to the job. So I'll do that. You have to select a product theme. That's going to determine what templates your customers can choose from for any templated products that you offer. I'm just going to hit save. And then before you publish, you'll want to make sure you hit this part of settings. Now, if you try to publish with a bulk shipping price sheet attached and you did not set your bulk shipping settings, it will point you back here. So don't worry, it will try to save the day, but just make sure you go in here and set this up before you release. So over here on the right, click bulk ship, and then you will, number one, set up bulk shipping deadline. So today's August 5th, let's say August 22nd. I recommend kind of giving a decent amount of time just so you make sure you hit that lab cost minimum. It's $15 worth of items from the lab. So your cost from the lab has to equal $15. Otherwise, you do have to pay the difference. And then you get free 2 to 3 days shipping from the lab. So you set the deadline date. Another great thing about bulk shipping, guys, by the way, is that it kind of creates a sense of urgency. So that is really important when you're selling online. You want your customers to, although they have the freedom to purchase at their convenience, you want them to get their order in a timely manner. So if they want their order included in the bulk shipment, then they have to purchase by this date. So that is helpful. And it does explain this date in the marketing reminders that go out. Now, sort by, I guess in this data, I don't have anything, but this is where you would choose if you want the orders to be sorted by grade, teacher, or whatever else you have in your data. And then you'd select a delivery address. So whether you want it to be shipped to you and you drop it off at the organization, or whether you want it to go directly to the school or league, you put that in here. Now, your customers are not going to be able to see this address, so that's why it's important to add a delivery note. It is going to display this delivery note at the checkout. So if they include their order in the bulk shipment, you kind of want to tell them, hey, you can expect your order at the last practice or at, after fall break or whatever. Just include some information about when they can expect their order here, and that's going to show at checkout. So yeah. Okay, guys, I think that does it for price sheets, and I have some helpful hints, which is my favorite thing to talk about. So let's jump back into my slides. All right. So obviously, when you're switching from online to, or from, paper to online, things can be different as far as setting pricing goes. So our team has come up with a bunch of tips that help people who are kind of transitioning from something else to PhotoDay to make an effective price sheet and to have an effective pricing strategy. So just some quick tips are, number one, keep your pricing short and sweet. I don't know if you guys ever shop on Amazon, but sometimes I'll be looking for Band-Aids or something, and there are just so many different options. I end up scrolling on Amazon for 2 hours. So that is why it's important to not give your customers too many choices. It can cause kind of a paralyzing effect if they have a lot to go through. So I always look at that. If you're already selling with PhotoDay, you can actually check out a report under the reports tab that's called the products report. It's going to show you what sells on your price sheet. So you can actually use that to kind of review your price sheet and take off some things that just don't sell. Keep it short and sweet and simple so that people are just, they get right to the point. I did talk about this a little bit, but give savings in your packages. It's not going to make so much sense to your customer if you're not giving great savings in your packages. And doing so is going to encourage them to buy bigger and bigger. I also kind of recommend to scale up in savings the bigger the package gets. So the more they spend, the more they save. Now I am kind of jumping ahead a little bit here, but sell digitals and give a great deal on them. We do have a lot of different ways to sell digital bundles, which I'm going to get into. But digitals are a really popular item in this day and age, and they're high value. You're giving the printing rights for that image. And they also have a lower cost for your business. So those are all great reasons to sell digitals and give a good deal on them. And you can also add digital downloads to your print packages to, kind of boost the value of the package without boosting your margin or your cost. So I think that's a really great tip. And it also gives your customers, they get the digital images, but then they also get the professional prints from a great printing lab that we partner with, so they can see what a high quality print of that digital image looks like. I think a lot of photographers like to give digitals in their packages for that reason. Now, this is a separate webinar. I will link it in, or somebody from PhotoDay will put it in the chat. But you want to create a strategy that encourages early buying. So I would recommend, if you're just getting started with PhotoDay, look at all of the features that we have, all the tools like AdvancePay and promos and things of that nature, and just create a pricing strategy that rewards early buyers. So for instance, you can offer AdvancePay, and give a benefit for people who purchase in advance. And then you can offer your best pricing for the first 3 weeks or so. And then you could expire the gallery and put expired pricing on the job. So just make sure that you get a good strategy in place, and watch that Creative Solutions for Early Sales webinar if you guys have not already, if you need help planning a strategy. And then also, if you guys need help with pricing at all, hit up our support chat, because we do offer help with that. So definitely utilize the bubble. They're the best in there. Okay, and then tips and best practices for a la carte. Like I kind of mentioned, you want to set those items at a full retail value. Number one, it kind of assigns value to these items as individual items. That way the packages, the value of the packages makes sense. And also it kind of creates a sort of minimum order value. So if they go in, they just want to buy one 8x10, that's great, but they have to pay, the full retail price since they're not getting a package. And then again, just keep that a la carte trimmed down so that your customers don't struggle with choosing what they want. So, we have, with all of our labs, they offer a ton of different variations of awesome specialty items and prints and things of that nature. But you as the professional, you can kind of suggest, or you can choose what the best specialty item or print sizes are for your job. Okay, so jumping into downloads. First, talking about a la carte downloads. So you can sell single downloads on your price sheet, and you do have to sell them in order to set up the bundling option. So I will show you guys what that looks like. But I think the important part of setting your a la carte download price is assigning value to one single digital image. That way, once they look at the bundle options, they can visualize the savings they're getting and the value of, one versus, hey, I could buy 5 and save 25% or whatever. Now, if you are wondering where you should price your digital image, I would recommend kind of looking at your average order and then pricing one single image at like your maybe lowish average order value, and then discounting from there. I think $35 is pretty standard, which is what is on a lot of our sample pricing. All right. So why are download incentives essential? So again, when you're selling in an online gallery, your images are your inventory. You're no longer, giving people pieces of paper before they ever see the images and having them pick out the items and packages they want, which used to be inventory with paper, but online, your customers are viewing those images first and foremost, and then they are choosing the products that they want secondarily. So the more image options you offer, the more your potential for a large order. But yeah, this is an online world at this point. And the data from our sales actually show that digital downloads are one of the most popularly bought items. So that being said, it is a good idea to offer them and then also give a good deal on them. Now, we do have 3 different options for kind of giving bundle deals on digitals. I'm going to go over all of those, but it's really about figuring out which one is going to work best for your job. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into those. One of them is new and awesome, and if you're not offering it already, then you definitely should be. All right, get to where I want to be. Okay, so let's jump back into the price sheet that I was working with here, and we're going to go to the digital products section. So first things first, you can price your digitals as a la carte items. So in this example, I have a high-res download priced at $34.99. You can also offer a social sharing download, and I have that priced individually at $10. Now, we have 3 different bundling options, and first one I'll go over is tiered pricing. So if you're offering multiple images per subject, you want to set one of these up. So with tiered pricing, the more images they buy, the cheaper they become per photo. So you start by setting the retail price, $34.99, and then you set the tiers and the price per photo for each. So in this example, if they buy 1, it's $35. If they buy 2, it goes down to $31.49. If they jump up to 4, the savings scale up as you go. So that is one option. Now, we also have max price, which is going to, it's going to allow your customers to buy up to a certain amount of images for this price. So, for example, I'll set the max allowed at 10, and then I'll set the max retail price at 100. So what this means is if they buy 1 image, it's 35. If they buy 2, it's 70, all the way up until they hit this $100 price point, which in this example would be at 3, and then they can add up to 10 for $100. So now I'm going to turn both of those off, and I'm going to showcase the coolest feature we've released so far, in my opinion, and that is download all. I know this is popularly offered. So if you guys want to offer a download all option, you can do that now with PhotoDay. Now, first, you have to set the single photo price. So I have that set at $34.99. And then you're going to set the download all price. So I'll do $120, not $1,200. And I will toggle it on. All right. So what this means is for private galleries, if your customer chooses to purchase download all, it's going to give them all the images that are available to be purchased digitally for this price. So all of the images match their private gallery for $120. Now, if you guys are using group or public galleries, it is going to be using Face Find. They're going to have to choose a face, and then they get all of the images with that face in it for the $120 price point. Now, the really cool thing about download all is that it's going to show first and foremost, front and center, right next to the images in the gallery. Now, I'll show you guys what it looks like. But I think the reason why it's such a big seller is because it's just such an easy decision for parents or for customers. All they have to do is click a few buttons and then they get right through checkout. Okay, so I have the gallery open here. This is a public gallery, so I'm going to use Face Find to locate the subject's photos. and then find them. Oh goodness, I have the wrong price sheet attached, guys. I promise I go through this multiple times a day. I totally know what's going on. Wait, I think maybe I just need to refresh. All right, so this is the baseball 2025 job. I'm gonna make sure I have the right price sheet attached here. Let's see, I believe it was this one. Yep, there we go. All right. I have too many price sheets for my own good. All right, and then again, showcasing how easy it is to just change a setting and refresh if you need to. All right. So here is my example subject. And then as you see here, if you have download all toggled on, it is that simple. They can just click buy now and it is going to add it to the cart. Now they have to select a face. So that's going to pick up from one of the photos that they favorited. Of course, I have something in my cart. From a different gallery. All right. And then the customer will not have to do that many clicks. They would have to do like 3. I feel like I need to go back through it because it is so easy. And it has sold, I think so many photographers are pleased with download all because it's been a big seller and people jump on it because of how easy it is. Again, they don't have to go through all the choices and choose which images they want. They can just say, I want all of my photos and get them. And then they just proceed to checkout. Okay, so as far as choosing which one is best for you, if you're doing private galleries and you have, it really depends on the number of images you have and if it makes sense to sell download all. It depends on if you're using a group or public gallery, if FaceFind can run on all the images. If you're selling images with like helmets on or something, keep that in mind because it does run using FaceFind with download all. All right. Let's see, going back to my slides. So the awesome thing about all of our digital download bundle options that you can sell is that the cart does a really great job of upselling. So for instance, if you are offering tiered pricing and your customer chooses in that 2 to 3 image range, for instance, when they get into the cart, it's going to tell them they can add one more and the price per photo is going to drop. So it will do the upselling for you. And then download all, especially, like I said, it's just one button. They might go through, look at all your offerings, and then they might be in the school line or something. They might back up and go in and just choose to download all just because they want to save time and make it easy. All right, now high res versus social sharing downloads. So I know some studios share or sell social sharing downloads a la carte, but social sharing downloads can also be great as a bonus item in packages. So that way, your customer buys your basic print package, for instance, and it has a social sharing download in it. While they're waiting for their prints to get to them, they'll get a social sharing download that they can share with family and friends. They can also share on social media, for instance, and maybe other people in the organization who are friends with them are going to see that image. So it's free marketing for you. And it's an awesome little bonus item that your customers will come to love and look forward to. Now, as far as the size of social sharing downloads, our system is going to automatically take the image and resize it to 900 pixels wide by the proportionate height. So it doesn't come with a print release, and it automatically will say in the description that it's not good for printing. And you guys can also edit that description as well. And then high res downloads, those are going to be the full resolution that you've uploaded, and it's going to come with a print release. All right, so if you guys are ready to get started, if you need some more resources or need more help, we have a ton available for y'all. So starting off with the PhotoDay guide, that is at guides.photoday.com. If you're like me and you like to read through step-by-step instructions of everything that you need to know, you can check out the PhotoDay guide. I really like that. We have a regular one that goes through setting up your account, setting up price sheets. And then we also have a private gallery specific one if you guys are using private galleries. We also have a ton of support articles. So our team has done a really great job at paying attention to our frequently asked questions, and also just creating articles for each feature we come out with, and updating them as well. So if you guys have a question, separate from coming to our bubble chat, which is also very, very welcomed, you can search for an article, especially if it's after hours and the bubble isn't there, and you should be able to find the answer you're looking for. We do a really great job at those. Now, if you guys are not familiar with our support chat, it is commonly called the Bubble, and we are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time to answer whatever questions you guys have. We have an experienced team in the support chat, and we, not only just give yes or no answers or, tell you how to do things, but we'll also help you out with strategy. It's a very, very good resource. And we're not bots. We are actual people. So make sure to utilize the bubble whenever you need. We most likely can help you out. Customer service at PhotoDay is honestly the best ever. And then we also have webinars and blogs. So you guys can watch replays of webinars like this. And then we also have blogs, things like interviews, ways to use our newest features. And then our webinars as well, we have basic ones like these, and then we have more strategy-based ones that go over a lot of tips and tricks as well. So make sure you watch those if you have not already. Okay, guys, I hopefully have some questions to answer, so let's jump in. Okay, starting off with, can we see what the retouched image looks like? So your customer is not able to see the retouched image live in the cart. They're not going to see it until they receive the digital image or, receive their prints. Now, we do show a lot of examples, so hopefully that does a good job. But our retouching technology does a really natural job. I'm always very impressed with the retouching. Let's see. Has anyone ever used PhotoDay for mini sessions? I would say yes, absolutely. Hopefully people can chime in there in the chat if they have. And if you're a part of our Facebook group, you should definitely join and ask there as well. All right. Let's see. So what has PhotoDay done to try and keep the watermark as protective as possible? So that's a great question. I should have shared my screen for this one, but we actually we've made some changes to our default watermark that has artifacts on it that combat the AI watermark removers. Of course, that's definitely an issue that we're staying on top of and that the industry is kind of chattering about. But that is something y'all should check out if you haven't already. And if you're using your own watermark and it's very dainty and stuff, you can always switch back to our default because it's going to do a really good job at preventing that. All right. Kevin, you'd like to offer background selections on the digital download bundle. I would recommend going to the bubble. If you guys have any feature requests ever or improvement requests for our product, make sure you go to the bubble. That's going to be where we can properly submit them to the product team and track them and track that you guys want to see them so that our product team knows what we should work on next. All right. If you have team images blocked from digital download, do they stay blocked on download all? Yes, they do. So it's only going to allow them to get the eligible images with download all. So if you have any that are disabled from digital downloads, that will include the download all feature as well. All right. Will parents have to wait until all images are uploaded if they did not take advantage of a prepay option? Okay, so AdvancePay is going to be available all the way up until you, the studio, click publish and release the images to your customers. I would recommend in general, like say you're photographing over multiple days, if you are able to wait until all images are ready before releasing, or at least most of them. And then I've heard a lot of studios say that they sell a lot of AdvancePay on the day of the shoot or in that waiting period. So So yes, they will have the prepay option until images are uploaded, unless you can also turn it to draft if you want. So that's up to you. All right. Okay, so Bill, great question. I think I kind of touched on it, but if you have artsy shots like where the face isn't fully visible, such as profile shots, and you're offering download all, is there a way that the images can be matched? So if you're using private galleries, then that's going to be the solution. If you are doing profile shots, like if you're doing dance or silhouettes or, helmet on images, using private galleries and just matching those images to the subject is going to allow you to still use download all, because it's going to be going off of all the images that are inside the subject's gallery. Not quite. There's no really solution for that with group and public galleries right now. Hopefully we can figure something out eventually, but if that is what you're looking for, make sure you put it in the bubble, which I see that you did. What's the average download all price? I think that really, really varies depending on the type of job, whether you're doing sports or dance. I've seen a lot of people do in the 120-ish range for sports, or, whether they're doing that just for a limited time to give people like a limited time deal or not. But I would say a quick way to kind of figure out what would be right for your customers is to look at your digital sales, especially if you've been using PhotoDay and you've been using something like tiered pricing. For instance, maybe you sell, 100 single ones, 82 images, 43 images. I would look at that sweet spot. Like, at what point does it drop off, and at what price, what price is 3 images at, if that's the last one that people really buy, and then try to stick around that price. I think it's important to not price people out of it if you do want to sell it, because the good thing about download all is it's boosting people up and kind of, causing them to spend a little bit more to just get all their photos. So you don't want to price it too sky high. But again, doing something like dance or things of that nature, it would go a little bit up in price for sure. All right. Can I add a watermark to social sharing images? Not at the moment, but definitely submit that to the bubble. I think that would be great, especially when people are posting it to social media and stuff like that. If you could have, a watermark or a small logo in the bottom corner to show who did the photo, that would be great. Let's see. All right, guys. Do we offer a background replacement? So we offer knockouts, where you can get your image extracted off the background, or your subject extracted off the background of each image. And those are 10 cents each. So if you guys want to try out knockouts, you can reach out to our bubble chat and we'll help you out. But we also have a backgrounds feature where if you have PNGs uploaded into your gallery, your customer can choose from different backgrounds that you upload. So yes. Okay, guys, that looks to be about it time. If you have questions, please come to the support chat. We would be happy to help you guys out. Here is the cost of PhotoDay if anybody is curious, and included in that cost are all of our great features. So yeah, and we only make money when you make money. So we are committed to your success. Alrighty, I will talk to y'all later. See you on the next webinar.